So Steve, as a lot of people who get to know you have known, you've had quite a few different hair transplants over the course of your life, and I think I remember you telling me that you were 19 years old when you had your first hair transplant. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience in your first couple of hair transplants?
Sure. Man, that was a long time ago. Well, I was losing my hair, and I was losing my hair fast, and I was not liking it. I grew up in New Jersey, and most of my friends were Italian, and they had that John Travolta pompadour look. So I never had that look, unfortunately, but it was as you know, we deal with many young guys and women that lose their hair very young. I think the actual statistics are 5% of the entire male population will lose their hair before age 20, which is horrific. When I lost my hair, so I first was in denial, and then I'm the kind of person that likes to fix things. I like to find a solution, even back then. And one of my uncles on each side of the family were completely bald, and all the family photos that I've seen, I never put two and two together, but obviously I inherited the lucky gene. And one of my uncles was wearing a hairpiece, and everybody knew it, and I mean, it looked great, but it was a hairpiece, and I didn't want to do that. So, he was obviously a lot older than me, and was a police officer in New Jersey, and had spoke to a lot of police officers, ironically, in Newark, New Jersey, that were getting hair transplants.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. So he made a couple connections. My mom was always, oh my God, this kid is going off the deep end. He's losing his hair. He's panicking, and it was thinking back on it. It was a tough time, but I took the lead, made a call to the doctor, met with the doctor, and lucky me. Looking back on it, I found someone that was a guy that had the best interest of the patient in mind, and he was a phenomenal doctor. Now, he was just dabbling in hair transplants. In those days, there were not many specialists. I don't think there were any specialists, as a matter of fact. I don't even think Bosley was around in those days. So,
well, we're really going back in time then.
Pretty far, man, pretty far. We won't talk about that. Bottom line is that I took the plunge, of course, and like a lot of the young guys I see, they want to jump right in because they want to fix it, and it takes time to grow in. And believe it or not, Lance, those were the days of the plugs. So I had plugs done, which it's just hard to believe, all the way back, and I believe the first procedure was like 1979.
Really?
Yeah. And that was the start. 3 sets of plugs. They used to do them in sets where they would do like a checkerboard. They would go in between like a black or red, like a checkerboard, and you would come back about every 6 weeks and go in between those holes. They were big 4mm punches. So it was pretty nasty to look at when you got home. You can imagine you just had your FUE procedure, and in the back of your head, imagine seeing some big holes back there. Pretty scary. But that was it, man. That was what was out there. And somehow I survived. And somehow, I'm still here, meaning, I don't have that John Travolta hairline I set out to get when I was 19, but thanks to the doctor that took good care of me, placed the hairline high enough so it didn't, obviously with those techniques, leave me with any kind of plugs or doll's head look or cornrows, which everyone, even to this day, is still afraid of. Which kind of brings us to a point to where if I could go back in time, I would once again look for a doctor that looked me dead in the eye, told me what I should expect, didn't try to sell me anything, and took good care of me.
So, Steve, if you could go back to your 19-year-old self, if you could go back in time, knowing what you know now, would you have done anything differently, or what would you recommend to anyone who is 19 years old, who is losing their hair? What would you recommend to them to get them on the right path?
That's a great question, Lance. I think that my advice to anybody out there, whether it's young, old, or in between, male, female, any race, does not matter. It's just get the information. The internet is a great tool. Sometimes it's such a good tool, it takes us down the black hole.
Yeah.
So I think that's why guys like myself and yourself are out here helping people, is to kind of put this in perspective and let them know that there are some really good doctors out there. This technology and this industry has grown significantly since 1979. There's some wild wild rides out there right now that I see being marketed and advertised that I disagree with. And again, like your mom taught you when you were 19, be careful. If it looks too good to be true, it probably is. So there's a combination of, yes, it's 2017, In this day and age, people can get phenomenal results, they can find great doctors, but they still need to make the right choices. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. If you're a class 7 bald guy with very little donor and somebody's telling you he wants to do FUE, run away from that guy. If somebody tells you if you take one Propecia pill you're going to have irreversible erectile dysfunction for the rest of your life, run away from that guy. You know, you got to get your facts straight, and the rest of the guys out there that are doing this nonsense, that are saying this nonsense, and it's in every industry, not just hair restoration, make it easy for the guys out there who basically have integrity and tell the truth and treat people right.